Hi there, welcome to Not a Number. My name is Ricky. Thanks for tuning in today. And today I just wanted to do a quick video covering something that kind of confused me a little bit when I first started out writing JavaScript. Hopefully you'll find it useful. I wanted to talk about JavaScript function notation. Now when I first started writing JavaScript, I noticed that there were kind of two primary ways to write functions in JavaScript. The first one is the traditional function notation where you write the function keyword followed by your function name, we'll just call it function 1, any parameters, and then write your code inside of the, right here, inside of the curly brackets. And then the other way I noticed that you could write a function is to assign it to a variable like this. So if our function 2 is equal to function, I can type today, function, again, parameters if you have them, and then since we're assigning to a variable, we need our closing or we need our trailing semicolon there. And again, you could do something here. And as far as I could tell initially, these behaved largely the same. So if I called function 1 and also called function 2, and then just so we have something in here, I'm just going to console log calling function 1, and then I'll just copy this, come down here, and we'll say calling function 2. Now I have a page over here in my browser where I'm including this file. If I refresh, you can see in the console here, calls function 1, calls function 2, they both work. So what's the difference? Well, one easy way to tell the difference is if I move the function calls up to the top and refresh. Well, function 1 worked, but function 2 threw an error. Why is that? And there's actually a very long and complicated answer to that. I'm going to try and give a 2-minute summary of something called hoisting in JavaScript. JavaScript hoisting is a concept where when your browser interprets the code, when it runs your code, it doesn't actually run it line by line. It doesn't just run line 1, then line 2. Obviously, if it did that, line 1 is calling function 1, but we haven't defined it yet. So obviously, something's being done differently. So what it does is it actually it goes through, analyzes all of your code before it executes it, and moves certain things further up the file, or hoists them up and executes them out of order. And there's a variety of reasons it does that, mainly for performance. It likes to do things like all your memory allocation gets done right out of the box. We could create a whole long series of videos on hoisting. But one of the things that gets hoisted is function definitions in this first form here. So if we wanted to actually reorder this to the order that your interpreter would actually run it, we'd move this up to the very top. And then you can see function 1 is actually defined before we call it. Now you're saying, well, Ricky, does that second function get hoisted? And you might also say, I've heard a little bit about this, and I've heard that variable definitions also get hoisted. So this is a variable definition, and this is a function definition, so does this whole thing just get hoisted up to the top here too? Well, yes and no. What actually happens is your variable definition does get hoisted. So your variable is created, and then this is just an assignment down here. This is kind of what happens. And the function definition does as well get hoisted. Don't need that. But it's just an anonymous function with no reference, no way to call it. Your interpreter does create some sort of reference by the interpreter here. So the interpreter knows how to get to it, but your code doesn't necessarily know how to get to it. But it remembers that, and then when you assign it right here, the anonymous function is assigned here. So this is where the actual assignment occurs, and this is when you can actually call this anonymous function with this variable. So when this function 2 attempts to get called here, the variable function 2 has been created, the anonymous function has been created, but they have not been associated with each other. The reference from function 2 to the anonymous function hasn't been done yet. And you can actually see in our code here, or in our log here, it says function 2 is not a function. It doesn't say function 2 is undefined, because function 2 has actually been defined. It's just null. It's empty. So that's a very high level overview of how hoisting works in JavaScript. So if I put this all back here, back the way that we had it in the beginning, why or how would we use these two separately? Why would we use one over the other? And it really, at this point, it comes down to kind of style and preference to some degree. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. If you have, in this case, a function that you're defining in the global scope, both of these will work fine. You just have to remember, and it's usually best practice to anyways, define your function before you call it. If you have some sort of legitimate reason for doing otherwise, obviously you'd have to use this function notation if you wanted to call your function before it's defined. And the other reason that you'd want to use this function notation is mainly for performance reasons. When you define a function this way, all it has to do is create the function, and that's it. If you define a function this way, it has to create the variable, it has to create the anonymous function, and then there has to be a reference created in the backend that associates this function to this, this variable to this function. So for performance reasons, if you're concerned about performance, you want to use this function definition. Honestly, I kind of got in the habit early on of doing it this way all the time, always. And so that's what I typically do. But again, if you're concerned about performance, you can use the regular function definition. There's really no reason other than just personal preference to do it this way. One instance where you would actually want to use this variable assignment method of function notation is if you wanted to assign it to another variable. If you had an object that you wanted to assign the function as a method of that object, you would do so. So let's say you were creating some sort of product, and you had, say, my product as an object here, and you wanted to use that my product as your namespace where you put all of your functionality into, then you could do my product dot, say, my functionality is equal to a function, and you do something in here, right? So that is an instance where you'd want to assign a function to a JavaScript variable using the variable notation, or sorry, the variable assignment notation. And there's obviously a variety of ways that you could compose an object like that. You could put it all inside an self-executing function where you return back the methods that you want exposed. And that gets a little more advanced, but I wanted to keep it simple and show kind of the two primary ways of defining functions in JavaScript and when you might want to use them, how they functionally differ, some things you can look out for. So I hope you found that useful. I'm going to include in the description some links to some sites that have information about JavaScript JavaScript functions, and a little more information about hoisting if you find that interesting and you want to read more about it. Again, it's a pretty deep topic. You can get a lot of, you could go very in depth on that, spend a lot of time on it. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment below if you have any questions, any feedback, if you have suggestions for future videos. Please leave those in comments below. I will read them, and I'd love to make videos that people have questions about. And if you found the video useful and you want to be notified of when I put more videos out in the future, please consider subscribing. It helps a lot, and it is very much appreciated. So again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.